You're watching In Conversation on Channel News Asia.
Well, at the age of 19, you said that in order to make performing a career, you had to move to Brisbane. England was the way to go, and you saw very little scope in terms of the Singapore side of things for budding pianists, for concert pianists. Now, if you were 19 all over again, would you still feel the same way?
I think I would, actually. I mean, I was already living in England, by the time I was 19, and I just happened to win this competition there, so that gave me an awful lot of exposure there. But I think if I'd been living in Singapore, I wouldn't have had the career that I've had, obviously, if I hadn't gone over there and won that prize. I mean, I suppose there are lots of Singaporeans who go abroad to study at that age, 19. It's actually a bit late, I think, these days, perhaps 19. It's difficult to sort of break into the scene unless one is, very outstanding, very young. Mm-hmm. So if one is already 19, it doesn't help, actually, to just leave Singapore to try and win a big competition abroad and then hope to get a big career. So I'm afraid, yes, I think that still is a problem with Singapore. I mean, of course, it's much better now, mm-hmm. in the sense that there's perhaps a lot more going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, there have been a lot of changes recently in the last couple of years. We've had the Esplanade being open, of course. That hopefully will become the equivalent of things like the Sydney Opera House, the Royal Albert Hall in the UK as well. We've got the government in Singapore pumping more money into the art scene. Do you think those efforts will be enough to build a vibrant art scene in Singapore, do you think?
I don't know. I think it's great that we have all this going on, and of course Singapore's getting better all the time, and I'm very, very happy to see it go that way. But the art of playing the piano or whatever is such a tough one that it involves more than just putting on concerts, really. It's something, which people have or haven't, in a sense. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is that it involves a lot more than just having wonderful concert halls, really. Yes, yes.
So what do you think needs to be done? What more do you think needs to be put in there in order to generate that sort of vibrant art scene, as it were?
I think there just has perhaps to be a kind of a larger amount of people who are interested somehow. I think there are some people in Singapore who are very interested, obviously, but perhaps, not the majority. I mean, music of this kind is always a kind of minority art, I suppose. But still, it's possible for a kind of culture to evolve from a kind of community where, there are many, many people who are interested in that kind of art.
How do we do that, though? I mean, are you talking about educating a community, or just, flooding them with art, or what? Yeah. What is that element that would build that?
Yes, it does come down to listening a lot, and obviously the homes where people listen a lot, it does help. You know, the people will learn to enjoy whatever art it is more through more exposure. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
talking about exposure, you've been exposed to lots of cultures, lots of different countries where you've performed. Do you think Singapore has that quality to be an arts hub, as it were?
Well, it's certainly going that way, I think. Yes, yes. I think it's wonderful that yes, there's so much going on now. Yes, and every time I come back, it seems to be getting better. Yes, yes, and.
Why should Singapore be an arts hub? I mean, is there some sort of payoffs that it can get? Because arts is big business, right?
It can be, yes, yes. Well, obviously, if there are a lot of very successful productions, it could help the country in the sense that it attracts people from abroad, I suppose, and obviously a place like London, you know, is such a successful art centre, so that brings in people for that reason. So I could envisage, I think, Singapore becoming that. In a sense, there's no reason why not, because, you know, it's achieved so much so quickly, and it's doing so well. I think it is quite hopeful, yes. Yes, I think it is a good idea.
In Conversation, we'll be back in a while.
A race worth waiting for.